If you look at any list of the best countries in the world to live in, literally 3 countries will always come up: Sweden, Norway, and Denmark. Why are these 3 countries so prosperous? What makes them so nice? There are a few reasons for this. A lot of the ideas brought forth are explained more in depth by another YouTuber, Economics Explained, whose channel is in the link in the description. To start with, the World Happiness Report said that what makes the Nordic states rank so high on their list are a level of trust between the people and the government, extensive welfare benefits, and a very effective and non-corrupt governments. The Swedish, Norwegian, and Danish governments are all open, pluralistic democracies, and rank among the best ones in the world. This leads to a government that is ruled by the people and is subsequently trusted by the people. The contrast between liberal democracy and centralized authority can be seen in how Norway treated its oil wealth compared to how the Gulf states treated theirs. When oil was found off the coast of Norway, the Norwegian government invested a majority of that money into a sovereign wealth fund, the Government Pension Fund of Norway. Through this fund, the Norwegian government generates an enormous amount of money, which is then spent on education, welfare, and infrastructure. The money spent on these subsequently goes into building the country and providing a skilled workforce, which then goes into creating other value-adding industries. It has helped immensely for Norway being prepared for when all the oil runs out of its coast. In comparison, large-scale luxury projects such as the Neom project in Saudi Arabia are funded by companies owned by Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund. Large-scale projects like these don't add the same type of value to the country as the Norwegian government's investments into education and infrastructure have. Such demonstration of effectiveness on behalf of the Norwegian government could be a reason for the people to trust them, since the government has a track record of delivering and bringing to the people. It can also work as a stepping stone to attracting foreign businesses and investment into Norway, adding more economic value to Norway and consequently to the Norwegians themselves. The trust of the government may be a reason for the people being more content with paying high taxes. Taxes in the Scandinavian countries are notably high. Taxes of such rate do hinder the capability to become very rich and generate enormous incomes. However, it serves to bring the people more comfortable lives. For example, high taxes in Norway, Sweden, and Denmark lower the average income of everyone. However, they enable citizens to get educations and healthcare without having to go through financial difficulty or even risk. These taxes also help lower the inequality gap between high-income and low-income citizens. It helps in creating a more egalitarian society and prevents low-income people from having entirely different lives than the higher-income people. It makes it more difficult for rich people to become very rich. However, it enables them to pursue overall comfort and stability within their lives. In the case of Sweden, though, the economic conditions have even benefited overall entrepreneurship within the country, as Swedes have many workers' rights, as well as healthcare and many public services being covered by taxes. They don't immediately risk financial stability to start businesses. Moreover, the amount of money spent on education means that Swedes are also more skilled and have greater knowledge, and thus have greater propensity for innovation and entrepreneurship. All this can be reflected in the amount of small businesses Sweden has compared to other countries. These policies are easier to implement in Scandinavia, though, for a few reasons. The first and foremost is demographics. The combined population of Norway, Sweden, and Denmark amounts to roughly 20 million people. This is approximately half the population of the American state of California, and about 8 million less than the population of Texas, and comparable to, although less than the population of Florida. Although population may not play too much into this, a smaller population means less resources have to be spread out throughout the population, and instability is thus less likely. Moreover, a smaller population also potentially indicates less ideologies in the country, and less factions, political parties, and opposing sides in the national legislature, helping the government be more effective and efficient. This is not necessarily too big a factor though, since a larger population may provide more brainpower in the country, as well as a higher propensity to create value-adding jobs and industries, especially with the high investments in education by Norway and Sweden, and the high levels of entrepreneurship seen by the latter country. If anything, having a larger population may actually benefit these countries majorly. The small population, though, is coupled with a fairly ethnically homogeneous population, which again indicates less ideologies and factions within the country. A pluralistic democracy with a large population as well as an ethnic diversity could be India, which is a flawed democracy, or even the United States Congress, the legislature of a large population, multi-ethnic country, which is known for its lack of agreement on decisive issues. Scandinavia didn't have to deal with the same level of political disagreement, and so it is significantly easier for them. Moreover, there is a large cultural aspect to these policies. They are not very good at facilitating multi-billion-dollar companies and business people, which may be fine for Scandinavians, but very disruptive to the values of, say, Americans, or other cultures where major success is encouraged. In general, the Scandinavian countries have very good living conditions and democracies, who are very efficient in running their countries. However, these conditions do come at certain trade-offs, and it is ultimately up to us on which to pick.